The 1991 Sarah Yarborough deeply shook community of Federal Way, Washington. A 16-year-old girl was found strangled on the campus local high school, still partially wearing her drill team uniform. It was an that lingered in the minds of even the most seasoned investigators. And Sarah's family and friends were forever affected by her death. Generations of King County investigators worked on the case, pursuing more than 4,000 leads. But for decades the identity of Sarah's remained a mystery. When an arrest was finally made after 28 years, suspect's criminal history revealed a worrying pattern of behavior that, according to one woman, sparked anger at what she called the failure of criminal justice system. 48 Hours, writer Natalie Morales tackles the case, The Hunt for Sarah Yarborough's airing Saturday, November 18 at 109C on CBS and streaming Paramount. Sarah Yarborough Laura Yarborough It was a cold December morning in 1991 when the 16-year-old boy was found strangled to death on the campus of Federal Way High School, about 20 miles south of Seattle. Sarah's body was found in an area of overgrown bush about 300 meters from her car in the school car park. Sarah had arrived at school that morning thinking she was late to meet the drill team, and investigators weren't sure how she got so far from her car. Sarah had not been raped, but investigators obtained a full male DNA profile from semen found on Sarah's clothes. For years, King County Sheriff's detectives repeatedly compared this unknown DNA profile to the CODIS database, but there was no match. It wasn't until 2019 that they finally got a break. Using forensic genetic genealogy, investigators identified a man named Patrick Nicholas as a possible suspect. Undercover officers spied on Nicholas and seized a cigarette he was smoking. The DNA on that cigarette matched the male profile found on Sarah's clothing. Nicholas was arrested and charged with the of Sarah Yarborough. Shortly after Nicholas' arrest, police in nearby Oregon knocked on Anne Croney's door and told her that detectives in Seattle wanted to talk to her. Croney knew Nicholas because he had held Croney at knifepoint 8 years before Sarah Yarborough was dead. In June 1983, Croney went to a riverside park in Richland, Washington, to contemplate by the water. He was sitting on the hood of his car when a young man approached him and started talking. He said his name was Pat Nicholas and they chatted a bit about the area. Croney asked him if he had gone water skiing on the river because it was a popular thing to do there. But Nicholas said he couldn't swim. Soon Croney noticed that Nicholas' voice was shaking and became irritated. He said he had to go and got into the driver's seat of his car. As Croney went start engine, Nicholas came to the driver's side of car and held a knife his throat. He ordered to take off clothes and then stuffed underwear into mouth to prevent from screaming. He continued walking her towards the secluded